What's up, guys? Welcome back to the FrugalBC channel. We are ready to start the Algorand Algo Let's Go live stream, all about Algorand and cryptocurrencies and all that good stuff. Welcome to the channel, everybody. I didn't know what time I was going to do it today, so I didn't put a thing out. Hopefully, we get a few people in here. There's not really anybody right now, but I'm sure there will be soon. I hope everyone's doing well out there today. Kind of interesting day for Algo. I didn't even pull up the markets. I should probably do that, huh? Hope everyone's out there. Yeah, I really got to start. It's really better if I signal these ahead of time. It's just hard to find the right time to do it. Let's get the charts pulled up. It's gonna wait a few minutes for some people to hop on. Hopefully, we got at least one people. Cool. More the merry. Welcome everyone. Yeah, start pretty soon, and hope everyone's doing well out there today. It's sun's just coming out now where I'm at. It was kind of rainy today, and that's no fun. So definitely did some indoor, did some jiu-jitsu today inside. Definitely not a mountain biking day. I don't know. What do you guys like to do? Leave it in the comments below. I'm curious whatever all my Algorand friends like to do for fun. In the meantime, might as well just get started. Let's just go to the charts, huh? Oops, I gotta actually share it, don't I? Let's take a look at the charts. We'll just start with see how well Bitcoin is doing. Yep, back down to 28. We just can't. It keeps popping up a little above that 30, and then it just keeps going. Look at Ethereum though. Ethereum down to 1,500. That's the lowest I've seen it in a while. It's down 14% on the week. Interesting to see that split there. So that's like the top three. Top three BNB is like the next one. That isn't a stable coin as far as market cap is concerned. Otherwise, yeah, Tether and USD are 3 and 4 respectively. Just out of curiosity, Cardano's kind of pumped up a little and then went back. Seen a lot of splits in the market, some doing really well, some not so well, some going down. It seemed like there was kind of a midweek hump, which is interesting. Ripple at about 36 cents. Interesting. It's down. Pretty much everything's down. A lot of stuff down, even in the double digits. Except for Eunice said Leo. Whatever that is, it is up 10%, almost 11% on the week. I don't know what the story with that is. Might have to look into that. A Shiba Inu. I do have some Shiba Inu. I got a little moon bag of Shiba, so whatever it does is fine. Like I can't lose on it. I can only lose the moon bag, but I'll still have profits because I took profits. Very important concept, by the way. Anyway, we all really want to get to Algorand, so let's just, I'm just looking if there's anything that bucked the trend. Not really. Algorand's down 9%, down to 35 cents, still holding up over Cosmos. I think that's pretty interesting. And now 2.4 versus 2.1. It's actually knocking on the door of Ethereum Classic. And good God, you should be able to beat Ethereum Classic. Because who the heck is even using Ethereum Classic? What are they using it for? Fair enough. I haven't really looked into it, but I think that's pretty interesting. So good for Algorand, working its way up. Had been in like 27, 28 range before, so it's still actually a little low in market cap, but it is beating Cosmos, which I also do own. Cosmos really took a beating in the bear market here. I mean, that was in the like 30s at one point. I sold a bunch, bought back in, but not that low. That's a good price. So that's enough about that. Why don't we jump over to Chinese charts now and look at some of the ASAs going on. I did not pre-look at these, so let's just see what we got going on here. Look at Algocoin pumping up. Good for you, Algocoin. Buttcoin and moist grannies. Jesus, yeah, we're going to come back and talk about that because like that came up on Reddit this morning, or at least I saw it this morning. Some interesting conversations. Yeah, so Algogem's top. Remember when Yieldy was like the top coin in liquidity, and now it's down to number 3. Algogems is actually on top as far as liquidity, not market cap. It's actually quite a bit different on market cap. But good for Algogems. It's up a little bit on the day. It seems to have been pumping all week. Good for Algogems. Cosmic gold down a little. It's been dropping a bit. I remember it was usually in the 10 cents range. I just transitioned a bunch of Cosmic to some other coins because I'm getting higher yields on them. And yield going up a little bit today, but yeah, that's been dropping all week. As has Zone down on the day. The Mint, Go Mint is a little bit down today. It's been had quite a drop during the week. Chips is up a little bit, and it's been climbing all week, so good for that. Good for Chips. Planet's really good today. Not so a little bit down on the week. Algo stake down today, and it's been kind of all over the place this week. Oh, and finishing up a little down on the week. DeFi token is hard to tell from that chart. Kind of dipped and came back up, and I think it's just a little bit down, but it's a little bit up today. And AlgoDex token, I don't think that was on there last time we did that. That's been dropping too. Let me roll back up because I want to talk. I think this is interesting. I want to talk about this. And Algo, this is under the trending ones, also popular. So I came across a Reddit post today that talked about. It showed Buttcoin and moist grannies, and it said, this is why nobody in the world, this is why nobody takes crypto seriously. And I thought that was an interesting comment. They seem really mad about the fact that there's a Buttcoin and the moist grannies. And well, if you don't like something, you can just ignore it. First off, that's one thing we can say. I don't know. Like, I find it amusing that such a thing exists. I don't think I will buy any. Interesting enough, moist grannies went up 58%. Whereas Buttcoin went down 51%. And meanwhile, an Alka coin, which actually has some use, it's actually part of a game that's been climbing, and I like to see that. In fact, let me click on that. The other thing I'll say is, I think a lot of people are taking crypto seriously. A lot of big institutions are. So I don't think we need to be what's the word? Puritanical about this stuff to get people to take it seriously. Either they'll see the utility or they won't. Eventually, they all will. It's kind of like the early days of a lot of stuff. Remember how Facebook was basically just a silly thing to dork around with? I mean, I went from being at the same job within, I don't know, a couple of years time frame. Went from don't you dare let us catch you being on Facebook to why aren't you on Facebook more? It's literally the change was that stark within, a couple of years. So, I think when we talk about that, part of it's going to be silly, some of it's going to be silly. And so what, right? Yeah, liquidity has really grown for Alkacoin. Switching topics here a little bit. It does seem to be, it has been slowly climbing down, which is interesting, but it had a pretty big candle today. So it's actually up above 2 cents. It was at 0.25 at one point in time when I just started playing Alchemon. I don't play it very much. It's a fun game, but I mean, how do I put it? It's cool to have a game on Algorand. It's not one of those games that makes you want to play over and over and over, but nice to see the price pump up a little bit. So that's pretty cool. It is cool to have that game, I think. All right. Well, we went through the charts. Let's talk a little bit about the videos this week. I'll get the one that didn't do well the way first. I did oh geez, is that what it says? Okay, hold on, I gotta change. Algorand. I didn't realize it basically saved the title from when I did that all hands. It's so weird. Sorry about that. If you're thinking I was covering that today, I am not. But yeah, so I did a video on an update on Townstar, and I don't know. I've done a lot of Townstar videos, and they just don't do very well. They don't get a lot of views, but I think they're important to do because all the Townstar videos I see are about how great it is and how you can earn all this money. And really, it's pretty tough. It's pretty tough to earn money, and especially I noticed a lot of those videos haven't been coming through my feed since the price of Towncoin dropped to 2 cents versus the 68 cents it did when I started. So, hey, this channel, I check things out, I try them out, I do the experiment, and I let you know, I give you the honest assessment of how it went. And Townstar, I think it's a fun game. I like the idea. I like that it's basically a cash flow simulator. but I'm sorry, it just doesn't. I just don't think it works that well. Hey, good time by the way, guys, to remind you that you can leave a comment in the you can leave a comment in the chat. If you leave a question, I will answer it at the end of the stream. So feel free to leave your questions in the chat, and we'll be answering those toward the end of the broadcast. So I did that one. I did Townstar, and then what was the other one I did? Sometimes when I do these when I do these live streams, I don't want to say I get nervous, but it puts you in a different mindset. And so you just kind of forget, like, oh, the Algorand name service. Yeah. So I made my own, I tried out the Algorand name service. So it's kind of like the Ethereum name service where you basically can have your own address. So I have the frugalbc.algo address. It cost me 5 Algo. So it's not very expensive. It can be if you want to go up to, if you want 4 characters, it's like 100 Algo, and 3 characters, it's like 150. But otherwise, it's like 5 Algo. So, it's not going to break the bank. And is it useful? Can be, or at least the idea is like basically it's supposed to make like your wallet address a lot easier. Although someone said they actually tried to send me an Algo and it didn't work using the Algo address. So I don't know. That's kind of a little update on that. And so those 2 videos this week, those are the ones I did. If you want to go check them out, they are on my channel. Appreciate you guys watching. And don't forget to leave some questions for me. Well, let's get into the news then, because there's some pretty big news to talk about. And some of you might have saw my post about this that I posted on Friday about Limewire apparently is using the Ethereum. Remember, there was this big partnership with Limewire and Algorand. I might do a separate video on this next week. I'm not sure. But it was a big deal that Limewire was going to partner up to do NFTs and all this stuff, all this blockchain stuff, and Algorand was going to be the engine behind it. And then they just announced that, or apparently, I take it back, they didn't announce it. It was buried in their white paper. And shout out to Mr. Blue Sky, who used to be with the Akita Inu team, the Algorand version, obviously. He was with that team, and I actually interviewed him on my channel. He's the first person I interviewed on my channel. He pointed out that Limewire is going to be on the Ethereum blockchain, at least for its art NFTs. So a lot of the Algorand people, I pointed this out. I tweeted about it. I put that on my channel as well. And a lot of people weren't too happy. Well, guess who else wasn't too happy? I'll tell you who else wasn't happy. One Staci Warden, who is the CEO of the Algorand Foundation. She was not pleased. So she tweeted, and this was Friday morning. She said, "You think you're mad about Limewire? I've been talking about them around town as a great example of Web 2 to Web 3. We've reached out to them, believe me. Dialogue is always best, but as you can imagine, we are not pleased, and we'll reevaluate our partnership with them accordingly." That's corporate speak for you sons of guns. I'm censoring myself for YouTube, but probably a lot of 4-lettered expletives. And yeah, we're going to get called to the carpet a little bit, because that's kind of a crappy thing to do. So I thought the whole tweet was worth reading. It's pretty interesting. And I don't know, I think that's kind of crappy. Now, I know I took some heat in the community for saying that I didn't have a problem with Yieldy having a project on Polygon. I thought that was positive, because it's good to have projects in multiple blockchains. And I wouldn't have had the problem with Ethereum had this been like a separate project. If Limewire said, yeah, we're also going to have an Ethereum platform or something like that. Okay, fine. I still would prefer it be an Algorand, but this is like they make this big deal about partnering with Algorand. They make this big announcement. I'm sure the Algorand people, that was a good PR thing for them. They were really happy about, as Staci says, she says, I've been talking about them around town as a great example of Web 2 to Web 3. Yeah, she's been citing them as an example, and then they turn around and, as someone else put it, it's kind of a kick in the nuts. Hopefully I can say that without getting censored. It's kind of a kick between the old hockey sticks there. Not so great. And I agree with that. I think that was really crappy of them. And they did respond. Where did I have that? I'll just read through some of the comments. It says, I love Staci. She doesn't mess around. Bullish on Algo. Nothing but bullhorns on that woman. Jokes on them. Limewire users are in for a rude awakening when they're forced to pay gas fees that are higher than the cost of the actual NFT, which won't be good for business. Hey, by the way, I did the math. I just want to show you guys this. Let me find it first. Oh, shoot. Hold on. Yeah, here it is. Okay, I'll share this. So it said, so Limewire made this big announcement because they said introducing Limewire Originals, 10K unique NFTs, granting you access to exclusive Limewire parties, Limewire token rewards, early access to NFT drops. Win one of 5 LW originals simply. So they didn't even say it on here. They didn't even talk about it. But it's on ETH. So Limewire made this big announcement of partnering with Algorand, but they're minting their first NFTs on ETH. What's up with us, Algo fam? That's me. And then, yeah, let's see. Why don't they just load the whole thing? Okay, here we go. So I credit the Mr. Blue Sky Algo for first pointing at this out, or at least where I first saw it, is what I should have said. Sources in the white paper, which I include in this tweet. Yeah, so here it is, the specs living on Ethereum. Grrr. And then I tweeted, the preference for ETH still continues to baffle me. Algorand gas fees are a fraction of a penny when they can be more than $100 on ETH. Transaction times are seconds versus an hour or more. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me, right? I did the math too. Where did I put that? Must have been on my preference. It says it's like if there are 2 gas pumps to drive your car to, one would cost $100 to fill your tank and take an hour and a half, and one would cost $1 and take a minute. Everyone chooses the first option because, I don't know, it's more popular. Yeah, like, it's just crazy. It's crazy that people even use ETH. I just don't get it when there's so many better blockchains. I mean, not just Algorand. But Algorand, is my favorite because it just seems to work the best. But there are other ones that work more smoothly than ETH. I mean, Solana was pretty slick too, and I used it. I haven't used it a lot for a lot of things, but the stuff that I did use was pretty easy. So I just have a hard time understanding that. Hey, some people are in here. Good. We'll answer your questions soon, so don't worry. But thanks everyone for leaving some questions, some comments. Always good to see. What do you think about this Limewire stuff? I think Staci is on the right track. She's not happy, and you know what? A lot of people aren't either. All right, let's go to some other news. But if you do want to leave your comments, let me know. We'll talk about it. Nope, not that one. Where did it go? Hold on, I'm gonna take a drink of water. Key U.S. senators introduce crypto bill outlining sweeping plan for future rules. Yeah, this is a great. I hope this comes true. But I'll just read what I got here. This is on the Pomp. God, what's his full name? The Pomp guy who does all the crypto stuff. He's got the Substack. This is on his Substack. Joe Pompliano. Am I saying that right? I can't remember his first name. Anthony Pompliano. All right, now I'll go back and find. He had a really good post on inflation too, by the way. You should read that. But okay, so a wide-reaching bipartisan crypto bill emerged Tuesday from U.S. Senators Cynthia Lummis and Kirsten Gillibrand. Now, this is one Republican and one Democrat. Are seeking to extend a comprehensive set of regulations across digital assets in the U.S. and have given industry lobbyists something meaty to debate. Their bill would liberate small-scale purchase of goods and services from the mire of tax implications by making transactions of less than $200 tax-free, potentially clearing a path for a cryptocurrency that acts more like a currency. Yeah. And not even the currency part, but just the fact that the way you use this, I doubt that there's anybody who's like truly reporting all the transactions. I do like probably more than 100 transactions a week. So there's no way I'm going and documenting all those for the IRS because they're going to ignore it anyway. And it's not going to bring me in another tax bracket. Not tax advice, by the way. Don't come yelling at me. I just, and someone asked me about it. I think it was last week's live stream. They asked me about the tax part of it. And I said, look, the stuff I do on Coinbase, like they print out a report for me. So I'll send it to them. I'll do a 1099 on it. Even some of the ones I did, they just the software service just rejected it, said, yeah, you don't need to do this. So, but like I just can't believe that some IRS person is going to be scouring through my hundreds and that probably thousands of Algorand transactions in a year that would amount to pennies and in tax implication, possibly, most likely doesn't bump me into a new tax bracket. I'd be shocked. I'd be really shocked, and it frankly would make some really interesting content. So don't take my advice necessarily, but that's all I'm saying is like that's what I do. So that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, but I think this is really positive. I think this would be really. I'm glad that it has bipartisan support. That's always a good thing. And since they say introduce, that lets me believe that it's starting in the Senate and then headed to the House. They can go both ways, unless I am incorrect about that, but I'm pretty sure I'm correct about that. And $200, I'd be happy with I'd be happy with $20 to be honest, or even $5, but 20 is good, or 200 is good. I'm happy with that. Definitely happy with that. So I think that's a good thing. Love to hear you guys' comments on that, by the way. Let's go to, we got one more piece of news for you. Let's see what we got. Wait, where did it go? Oh, I think it was this one. Oh, yeah. Hey, by the way, this is like a fun one. This is a fun one. Oh, I did have Limewire's response. We'll get to that in a second. Algorand is celebrating 3 years since the Genesis block, also known as its birthday. Yep, that's today. Happy birthday, Algorand. Block 0 was 2019, 2019, June 11th at 00000 UTC time. 3 years. I want you guys to think about that a little. I want that to sink in. Like we talk about like the growth of this thing. Well, how big is it going to get? How big can it get? Is it worth a whole bunch of money yet? This thing's been around for 3 years. That's it. That's nothing. I mean, that was like 6 months before the pandemic. It's basically been alive. Most of its life has been pandemic time, depending on how you count it. Don't come after me about the pandemic. Don't say, we're still in the pandemic. I just don't want. We're just talking about Algorand, okay, guys? Let's see if we checked every single timestamp of all blocks for entry 020. Let's see if we made notes. Glitch at any point. Answer was impressive. No, yeah. So it has not had any downtime. Looking at you, Solana. Just saying. But hey, yeah, I was gonna I almost forgot about this. I'd pulled this up because it was right below the Algorand birthday. But yeah, happy birthday, Algorand. So Limewire responded because I'm sure they weren't the only ones ticked. Limewire, and it wasn't just Staci Warden, it was everyone else too. So Limewire Originals would be a catalyst to drive Ethereum users to Algorand. This is only the beginning, Algo fam. We will soon be announcing an amazing lineup of artists and music NFTs that would be a core part of the Algorand ecosystem. # watch us work. Yeah, sure. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? It just seems like I'm going to pull that up too. I'm going to see what people said about that. Because I think that's BS. Oh, hey, Crypto Nerd says you have an open invitation to be interviewed on the Crypto Nerd YouTube channel. To clear the air, just message me. Shameless. Shameless Crypto Nerd. Just kidding. I know them. They've been on my channel before. I'm just giving them a hard time. All the perks go to ETH, though. The issue, this is Andrew saying, the issue isn't that you are making the collection, it's that you aren't offering the same accessibility to premium perks for Algo users. If I bought the one, I'd want to store it on my personal wallet, so I no longer use ETH or MetaMask. Yeah, me either. She just got bought it to hell on this response when we're all came from. I don't know I'm not gonna read the bodies, but oh, this is just are there more? There's gotta be more. Is that all who responded to that? Oh, there's more replies. Sometimes I call BS, prove me wrong. Once trust is lost, it's hard to regain. Yeah. I don't know if it's a trust issue, it's just a bad decision. Oh, by the way, I forgot to share the numbers. So I took like the average ETH gas fee for like the last week or so. It was about 18 something, like 1885. And so I figured out how many with 10,000, assuming they have to pay that twice, because you usually have to pay it once to start the transaction and another one to finish it. You guys have probably all seen that when you've done something on ETH. So basically double that and then times 10,000, it'll cost $370,000 in gas fees. On Algo, 20 Algo. So that's not even 20, that's what? Not even $10 now? That's the difference. So, but yeah, sure, put it on ETH. Really good idea, Limewire. Then the one NFT, yeah, the launch. It's the launch NFTs. Yeah, apparently they don't. You all act like Limewire owes you something. I'm frustrated that my wine delivery is delayed today. Frustrated Limewire goes to ETH. It's like whatever. Really, dude? No, that's like if you signed up for a wine company and they decide to start doing beer instead. I like both, but I'm just saying, like, I just don't understand the point of that. Yeah, what do you guys think about that response? Seem a little weak to you? Seems kind of lame to me. I don't know. Let's see. That's all the news. Let's go to some questions. Let's go read. Let's see here. JG says, I wonder if crypto is dead until next BTC halving. As far as prices, bear markets are no fun. Yeah. Actually, I kind of think so too. I think we should have had a bull market last fall, and it probably should be petering out about this time, from what I understand. I haven't looked at I didn't really pay attention to the end date as much, but it would have ended before the halving. So we might be this might be like accumulation zone, and they are no fun in the sense of like it's frustrating to look at the charts every day and see like, oh man, this stuff isn't going anywhere. But this is a good accumulation time. The time when you feel worst about buying in is usually the best time to buy in. Hashtag not financial advice, but no, I'm serious. This is like the time. This is really the time when you make money. You make money in the times when you don't think you're going to make money, and the times when everyone's like, "Oh my God, this thing is going to the moon." That's when you're not making money. Let's see. JG also says, no matter all the good news in Algo or anything else, prices goes down. Yeah, that's what happens in bear market. Permabulls frustrate me. Well, yeah, I don't know if you're. Well, how would I put that? I think it is. I look at it as a good thing, though. I think bear markets are where you make your money. They're not where you're happy. It's like it's like jujitsu, and I know I mentioned jujitsu a lot today, but like when you go to jiu-jitsu and you get your butt kicked and you're like you just get all beat up, like it kind of sucks, but also that's when you're learning. So that's when you're learning, that's when you're growing. So usually you have to go through hard stuff. To grow. That's just part of it. So I was going to share a video. Let me take a little break. This will help me get my voice back too. Let me find it. So this is Staci Warden, and she's talking about. We're gonna watch just a little bit of this. I think this is interesting. Let me know what you think. How's that? Does that sound okay?
Hi, everybody. Happy Earth Day from the metaverse or from real life or from wherever you happen to be. My name is Staci Warden, and I'm the CEO of the Algorand Foundation. And what I want to talk to you about today is the Algorand blockchain and how I think it's going to be a game changer for things like financial inclusion, and why the protocol can deliver on enormous promise, but in a carbon-free and climate-friendly way. So, when I look back on my career and I think about the roles that I've had in the private sector, in the public sector, and in the nonprofit sector, I have come to believe, and I think I'm right, that one of the important engines of economic growth is that household savings can go to entrepreneurs. So the virtuous circle kind of looks like this. Household savings, instead of putting their savings in bank accounts earning negative real yields, they are directed through well-functioning capital markets to entrepreneurs that need the money. Those entrepreneurs can then grow businesses. Those businesses hire more people and pay them more wages. Those higher wages give households more savings, and so it goes. And through that process, you get economic growth. And when we all have our kind of when did we fall down the rabbit hole story. Mine is in 2013. And when I first saw the Bitcoin blockchain protocol, I thought, right, this is really going to be an important component of delivering on that promise. Because why is it that somebody in, say, Shanghai can send somebody in Malaysia a movie by text message in 1 minute, but they can't send $1 without traveling through the U.S. correspondent banking system, clearing at the Fed, traveling back down the correspondent banking system to Malaysia, a week later, and where somebody's taken 12% off the top, right? And when I looked at blockchain ledger technology, I realized this could be a very important solution to this, and this is what really could deliver on the promise of financial inclusion.
So I just wanted to share that little clip because I think that's what she's saying is making a lot of sense, and I think it's great that she recognized that, and that's the leader of Algorand. So I think that's a good thing, very good thing. Let's see. Let's look at some more. Curious your thoughts. How did you get into Algorand? Let me know. So my Vegas asked, how's your Lofty investment going? Pretty well. I've been pretty happy with it. I just did a wrap-up video, not this past week, but the week before. Just bought my first property with pure rental payments. So made enough to buy that, and hoping to do another one soon. I've been pretty happy with it. It's been really steady. There hasn't been a lot of problems. Occasionally, I've had a couple people not paying their rent lately, but what they do is they offer them, if it's been like a month and they haven't gotten the rent, they basically offer them cash, or you have the option to offer them cash for the lease. And I'm like, cool, or for the keys. I'm like, cool, give them the cash, get the keys back, and we'll get it rented out again. I think that's a good way to handle it because the eviction process is very long and annoying, and you don't have to go through that. So yeah, thanks for asking about that. I think it's a great thing. I don't have it on the live stream, but if you'll see it you will see it in the description. If you're watching the replay, you can get $25 off Lofty, and I'll get that too if you go through my referral link. So be sure to do that. Here's a good one. JG again. Lots of comments from JG today. He says, Yellen says inflation will not be around 10 years later, meaning it will last 10 years. Well, that's not necessarily what that means, but it just means in 10 years you won't see it, but it doesn't mean that it's going to last 10 years and cut off right then. But do you agree to believe the opposite of what the Fed says? I wouldn't say I wouldn't say the opposite or that I agree with her. I think making predictions 10 years out about inflation is foolish. Who knows what's going to happen? So when we were in the middle of the financial crisis, was anybody saying, hey, no problem. In 3 years, the stock market's going to be completely recovered. Actually, I think it's less than that. I think it's like less than 2 years, actually. And beyond that, it's actually going to be a lot higher. Did anyone say that? No. I think it's silly that she would even make that. I mean, it might be. Who knows, right? 4 years ago, actually, I think a lot of people, when they saw the money being pumped in the market, thought inflation was probably coming. I wouldn't worry about their predictions because I don't take anyone's predictions very seriously. What I take seriously is when they try to lie to us about inflation, when they tell us, oh no, first they tell you inflation isn't real, then they try to tell you it's a good thing. And this is why we need independent. This is why we need independent finances, because you just can't trust these people. Okay. I don't care if they're on the left or right. Like, we just can't trust them. Okay, so don't. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Let's see. I'm just trying to see if JG had a lot of comments here, but someone asked about, this is JG again, said, have adopted in African nations of millions of unbanked can mean Algo becomes a blue chip cryptocurrency. Well, depends what you mean about blue chip. I mean, it's on the top 30, so it's pretty good already. But yeah, I do think that can make a big difference. You know, that's but not necessarily, because Electronium was basically being used like crazy in Africa, and that just did nothing for the coin. So it kind of depends. Like, I think it'd be very positive. I have no problem with that. I just, would it be a big game changer? I'm not so sure. Didn't really work out that well for Electronium, as far as I know. Of course, I haven't checked the price in a while. Maybe it's pumped since then, but you know, they were still, my whole bag at one point that I paid $1.20 for total was worth like $50 at one point, and then it just kind of petered out back to next to nothing. So who knows? Hey guys, thanks everyone for watching. I appreciate it. We're gonna end the live stream now, but remember to hit the like button, subscribe. I should have said that way earlier in the live stream. If you're still watching at this point, check out any of the links in my descriptions. I have a lot of good deals in there, especially for Lofty. That's one of the best ones I've seen. So you'll get $25 off your first purchase, I believe. So that's a good deal if you go through my referral link. As always, stay safe out there, guys, and we will see you